Okay, so the trade recap today was a quick win. Zooming out to the bigger picture, this is the 4 hour. At open, we had a major drop. We went through all the main levels, and what we did for NQ is we tagged not only these two H4 levels, but we also tagged the EQ of the entire move up. Moreover, we're now in this order block, which is also a retest of the change in the state of the 4 hour here. So that actually would suggest that we might have a move going up. ES is lagging in a sense that it's the stronger of the two, because here's the H4 level and here's the EQ for the entire move. So to me, this shows some bullish momentum. So I took a short, but I also knew that I should not hold on to it too much, expecting more downsides, because I think the downside has already taken place in this entire move after open. So what do? I mark out the major levels. So we have an H4 level and an H1 level. And what we see, if I go back to the 5 minutes, that we have the following situation. I'll just zoom in a bit. So we have a gap that existed or was formed. There was this high, and then there was the sell-off to the low, tagging that H4 level. ES did not do it, but it did create a high, and then it went create a low. Now, what I was looking at is, when would I like to go short? Because it was obvious that we were forming a range here. So my idea was, okay, if price breaks the 5 hour change in the state, so this was a tricky area, right? So there was a change in the state here. You could go long here, but if I would see a bearish SMT, because one of the two is lagging, then I would rather be keen on shorts. So the 5 minute fair value gap for ES was actually here. So that was still quite far, and NQ already rallied into it with quite strong momentum. I'll go back to the 1 minute because that's actually where I took the trade. So NQ rallied into that level, and I think this was a beautiful place for longs and shorts to be in conflict with one another. So the SMT obviously took place, and the reason why I felt that the short was suitable, not only because we were tagging the 5 minute for the first time, we also had some confluence with this H1 level that then can act as potential resistance, especially because there was some interaction around the EQ level as well before. So I was watching price and I was thinking, okay, so price was chopping up and down. I had my change in the state marked, and how I normally do it is how I always do it. I wait for a change in the state. In this case, on the 1 minute, not the 5 minute. Oh. And then, of course, I draw my magic fibs, which are not magic at all, but please do believe that they're magic, as if it makes any difference. I look to see if there is some confluence around the 236 level, which was, because there's also a gap here. So this was a I think a rather risky entry, because I was thinking, okay, we actually got the close below the change in the state. We did get some support, but we also had some levels here that needed some tagging. And the reason why I thought, okay, I think we're open for some downside is because ES also did a proper close below. And then my experience is that when there is a break of structure, if I place the golden fibbies. Then normally you can enter on the 50 or the 62%, but here also because price was moving quite quickly up, I thought, okay, you know what, it could be that it tags the high here because we still have that the fair value gap in there, so it might run the liquidity. So I just move my stop up a little bit, but I'm going to just enter here. And lo and behold, price reacted quite violently, especially also on ES, and there was actually no holding back. And I took two partials. I think I took my first partial around here. I have the execution, so I can just show. Yeah, so I went short here. Oh, you can actually see the arrow. Look. Okay, so I got in a little bit later, and I think I took my first off here. You can see. It's nice with the arrows. And the second one I took off here. And why? Because actually it was time to eat, and I wanted to not be caught in a bounce up like this one, and then having to wait maybe until here, or maybe even until here, before I can close the trade. So I said, okay, I'm going to enter here, and I'm going to take one move and then just exit. So my full exit was, where was it? There. Here. So that was a 1.9, and this was a 1.9 and a 1.3. So that's a 1.6 in total, and that netted me, I think it was $530, which is perfect trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes of work. Wonderful. Please give me more of these, especially also because afterwards it just chopped. Take into account, however, that's my experience, that when such a setup creates, it does the retest multiple times. Actually taking this liquidity and tried another time and then just sold off in the end. Okay, wonderful trade. On to the next.